When all dharmas are Buddha Dharma, there are enlightenment and delusion, practice, life and death, Buddhas and creatures. When the 10,000 dharmas are without self, there are no delusions, no enlightenment, no Buddhas, no creatures, no life, and no death. The Buddha way transcends being and non-being. Therefore, there are life and death, delusion and enlightenment, creatures and Buddhas. Nevertheless, flowers fall with our attachment, and weeds spring up with our aversion. To carry the self forward and realize the 10,000 dharmas is delusion. That the 10,000 dharmas advance and realize the self is enlightenment. It is Buddhas who enlighten delusion. It is creatures who are deluded in enlightenment. Further, there are those who attain enlightenment above enlightenment. There are those who are deluded within delusion. When Buddhas are truly Buddhas, one need not be aware of being Buddha. However, one is the realized Buddha, and the future advances in realizing Buddha. Seeing form with the whole body and mind, hearing sounds with the whole body and mind, one understands them intimately. Yet it is not like a mirror with reflections, nor like water under the moon. When one side is realized, the other side is dark. To study the Buddha way is to study the self. To study the self is to forget the self. To forget the self is to be enlightened by the 10,000 dharmas. To be enlightened by the 10,000 dharmas is to be free one's body and mind and those of others. No trace of enlightenment remains, and the traceless enlightenment is continued forever. When one first seeks the truth, one separates oneself from it. When one has already correctly transmitted the truth to oneself, one is one's original self at that moment. When riding on a boat, if one watches the shore, one may assume that the shore is moving. But watching the boat directly, one knows that that boat is moving. If one examines the 10,000 dharmas with a deluded body and mind, one will suppose that one's mind and nature are permanent. But if one practices intimately and returns to the true self, it will be clear that the 10,000 dharmas are without self. Firewood turns into ash and does not turn into firewood again. But do not suppose that ash is after and firewood is before. We must realize that firewood is in the state of being firewood, and has it been before and after, yet having this before and after is it's independent of them. Ash is the state of being ash, and has its before and after. Just as firewood does not become firewood again after it is ash, so after one's death, one does not return to life again. Thus, that life does not become death is a confirmed teaching of the Buddha Dharma. For this reason, life is called the non-born. That death does not become life is confirmed teaching of the Buddha Dharma. Therefore, death is called the non-extinguished. Life is a period of itself. Death is a period of itself. For example, there are like winter and spring. We do not think that winter becomes spring, nor do we say that spring becomes summer. Gaining enlightenment is like the moon reflecting in the water. The moon does not get wet, nor the water disturbed. Although the light is extensive and great, the moon is reflected even in a puddle of an inch across. The whole moon and the whole sky are reflected in a dewdrop in the grass, in one drop of water. Enlightenment does not disturb the person, just as the moon does not disturb the water. A person does not hinder enlightenment, just as a dewdrop does not hinder the moon in the sky. The depth of the drop is the height of the moon. As for the duration of the reflection, you should examine the water's vastness or smallness, and you should discern the brightness or dimness of the heavenly moon. When the truth does not fill our body and mind, we think that we have enough. When the truth fills our body and mind, we realize that something is missing. For example, when we view the four directions from a boat on the ocean, where no land is in sight, we see only a circle and nothing else. No other aspects are apparent. However, the ocean is neither round nor square, and its qualities are infinite in variety. It is like a palace. It is like a jewel. It is some circular as far as our eyes can reach at that time. The 10,000 dharmas are likewise like this. Although ordinary life and enlightenment, life assume many aspects, we only recognize and understand through practice that the penetrating power of our vision can reach. In order to appreciate the 10,000 dharmas, we should know that although they may look round or square, the other qualities of oceans and mountains are infinite in variety. Furthermore, other universes lie in all quarters. It is so not only around ourselves, but also right here and in the single drop of water. When a fish swims in the ocean, there is no limit to the water, no matter how far it swims. When a bird flies in the sky, there are no limit in the air, no matter how far it flies. However, no fish or bird has ever left the element since the beginning. When the need is large, it is used largely. When the need is small, it is used in a small way. Thus, no creature ever comes short of its own completeness. Whenever it stands, it does not fall to cover the ground. If a bird leaves the air, it will die at once. If a fish leaves the water, it will die at once. Know then that water is life. Know that air is life. Life is the bird and life is the fish. Beyond these, there are further implications and ramifications. In this way, there are practice and enlightenment, mortality and immortality. Now, if a bird or a fish tries to reach the limit of its element before moving in it, the bird or the fish will not find its way or its place. Attaining this place, One's daily life is the realization of ultimate reality. Genjo Koan. Attaining this way, one's daily life is realization of ultimate reality. Genjo Koan. Since the place and this way are neither large nor small, neither self nor other than self, neither existing previously nor arising now, they therefore exist thus. Thus, if one practices and realizes the Buddha way, when one gains one Dharma, one penetrates one Dharma, when one encounters one action, one practices one action. Since the place is here and the way leads everywhere, the reason, the limits of the knowledgeable and unknowable is simple, that our knowledge arises with and practices with the absolute perfection of the Buddha Dharma. Do not practice thinking that realization must become the objects of one knowledge and vision and be grasped conceptually. Even though the attainment of realization is immediately manifest, its intimate nature is not necessarily realized. Some may realize it and some may not. Priest Bosch of Magu Mountain was fanning himself. A monk approached and asked, "Sir, nature of the wind is permanent, and there is no place it does not reach. Why then must you still fan yourself?" "Although you understand that the nature of wind is permanent," the master replied, "you do not understand the meaning of its reaching everywhere." "What is the meaning of its reaching everywhere?" asked the monk. The master just fanned himself. The monk bowed with deep respect. This is the enlightened experience of the Buddha Dharma and the vital way of its correct transmission. Those who say we should not use a fan because wind is permanent, and so we should know the existence of wind without using a fan, know neither primacy nor the nature of wind. I could have the incense lighters come up. Good morning, everyone, by the way. If you could open your pages, we have an incense offering. It's a sheet of paper, and we will chant it together as they light the incense. And together we say, in gratitude, we offer this incense throughout space and time to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May it be fragrant as earth herself, realizing careful efforts, wholehearted awareness, and the fruit of understanding slowly ripening. May we and all beings be companions of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. May we awaken from forgetfulness and realize our true home. Good morning, everyone. So good to see so many faces today on this somewhat gloomy Sunday. Feels nice to be cool, though. I just have a few courtesy announcements. Families with small children, if for at any time they get antsy or anything, we have Legos, we got toys, we got stuff downstairs. Feel free to go downstairs at any time. Also, if you need to rearrange your seating, please do so. And don't mind. Just good to do it right before we all start get set it in situated. Also, if you're new here, welcome. And if you have to use the restroom, you can use it anytime, just through those curtains. And we ask that you don't walk in front of the dais. It's reserved for people running the mic, teacher. And if you do have to use the bathroom, if you're in the front row, we just ask that you kind of swing around here. We chant in a very upbeat manner. We try to bring life into the service. So I just invite you to, when we're chanting, to kind of be lively. And so we will stand. Realize I didn't introduce myself. I'm Shane, or Gaji Sue. I just got this robe last week. I'm still getting used to it. So bear with me if I trip or anything. Stand and greet each other silently. A bow or however you feel comfortable greeting each other. And then we will chant. The first chant is Three Refuges, which is located at page 7. There we go. I go for refuge to Buddha, my deeply awakened mind, the living source of understanding and compassion, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to Dharma, the path of mindful living, leading to healing, joy, and enlightenment, the way of peace, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I go for refuge to the Sangha, the loving and supportive community of practice, realizing harmony, awareness, and liberation, which must be cultivated to be known fully. I'm aware that the three jewels are within my heart. I vow to realize them. I vow to understand living beings and their suffering. I vow to cultivate loving kindness and compassion, and to practice joy and equanimity. I vow to live simply and sanely, content with few possessions, and to keep my body healthy. I vow to let go of all worry and anxiety in order to be light and free. I am aware that I owe so much to my parents, teachers, friends, and all beings. I vow to be worthy of their trust, to practice wholeheartedly, so that understanding and compassion will flower, and I can help living beings be free from their suffering. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. May the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha support my efforts. On the next page, page 8, we will chant the Heart Sutra. Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. The Bodhisattva of great compassion from the deep practice of prajna Paramita. Perceived the emptiness of all five skandhas and delivered all beings from their suffering. O Shariputra, form is no other than emptiness, emptiness no other than form. Form is emptiness, emptiness form. The same is true of feeling, thought, impulse, and consciousness. O Shariputra, all dharmas are empty. They are not born nor annihilated. They are not defiled nor immaculate. They do not increase nor decrease. So in emptiness, no form, no feeling, no thought, no impulse, no consciousness. No eye, ear, nose, tongue, body, mind. No form, sound, smell, taste, touch, or objects of mind. No realm of sight. No realm of consciousness. No ignorance, nor extinction of ignorance. No old age and death, nor extinction of them. No suffering. No cause of suffering, no cease from suffering, no path to lead out of suffering, no knowledge, no attainment, no realization, for there is nothing to attain. The Bodhisattva holds on to nothing but prajna, paramita. Therefore, the mind is clear of any elusive hindrance. Without hindrance, there is no fear. Away from all perverted views, one reaches final nirvana. All Buddhas of past, present, and future, through faith in prajna, paramita, attain to the highest perfect enlightenment. Know then the prajna, paramita, is the great Dharani, the radiant fearless mantram, the utmost supreme mantram, which is capable of allaying all pain. This is true beyond all doubt. Proclaim now the highest wisdom, the prajna, paramita. Gate, gate, ara gate, ara samgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, ara gate, ara samgate, bodhisattva. Gate, gate, ara gate, ara samgate, bodhisattva. Maha Prajna Paramita Hridaya Sutra. Please be seated. Good morning again, everyone. My name is Shane, or Gaji Su is my Dharma name. I go by either. Today is the Bodhisattva way is the name of my talk. Next week, we'll be having a ceremony. Many of our Sangha members have been going through a rigorous training program through our temple, and they are committing to the Bodhisattva way, which we chanted in the Heart Sutra, the Bodhisattva of compassion, which is Avalokitesvara. She is right here in the gold statue. She's also known as Kuan Yin. In Tibet, she is a he. She goes by either gender. Sometimes they are depicted as both. It just shows that compassion can embody anyone. And for new people here, I wanted to explain the last chant we said in a different language. It's Sanskrit. Gate, gate, paragate, parasamgate, bodhisvaha. Gone, gone beyond the beyond, awake. Woohoo! That's a rough translation. But sometimes chanting in a different language can be a little weird if you don't know what it means. So I like to explain that a little bit. So a bodhisattva, what is a bodhisattva? A bodhisattva is someone who is there for everyone. Bodhi means awaken, and sattva is being. Oh, so it's like Bodhi, awakening being. And in the Buddhist text, like the Lotus Sutra, for example, the Buddha explains that everyone's a bodhisattva, whether you know it or not. And every single being is asleep, but they're figuring out how to wake up. And then to take on the bodhisattva commitment means to say, hey, I'm going to wake up for the benefit of everyone. And I'm not going to go to nirvana or to stop helping others until everyone has been helped, which can seem like an impossible task. It isn't, but maybe it is. The thing is really that it's that intention behind what you're doing. Something that a bodhisattva cultivates is called bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is awakened mind and heart. Citta sometimes is translated to mind, sometimes it's translated to heart. But citta is heart mind. So you're awakening your heart mind. And that commitment is, there's a man named Shantideva. He wrote The Way of the Bodhisattva. And in it, he has beautiful prayer that I recite every morning. I actually wrote it in my journal. This is the version of Jack Cornfield. My name escaped me for a moment, but it is a very beautiful version. I'd like to recite it to you all now. This is the prayer of a bodhisattva. May I be a guard for those who are protectorless, a guide for those who journey on the road. For those who wish to go across the water, may I be a boat, a raft, a bridge. May I be an isle for those who yearn for landfall, and a lamp for those who long for light. For those who need a resting place, a bed. For all who need a servant, may I be their thrall. May I be the wishing jewel, the vase of plenty, a word of power, and the supreme healing. May I be the tree of miracles, and for every being the abundant cow. Like the earth and the pervading elements, enduring as the sky itself endures. For boundless multitudes of living beings, may I be their ground and sustenance. Thus, for everything that lives, as far as there are limits of the sky, may I provide their livelihood and nourishment until they pass beyond suffering. First time I heard that, I was moved to tears. It is a commitment that's not taken lightly, to really be of benefit to everyone, to the homeless man outside, to the homeless women, to the people suffering from addiction. It's hard. And there's times where I feel like I can't do it. But the Buddha taught 3 jewels. The Buddha, which is our teacher. We don't worship the Buddha, by the way. It may seem that way. I just wanted to reiterate that to anyone who's new. It's a person, a human being that woke up in this reality. Buddha just means awakened one. And that being woke up to suffering and saw that we all suffer. We all get old, we all get sick, and we all eventually die. And that is so hard when we lose loved ones. The teachings are the Dharma, and those are what the Buddha taught. But I don't like to say there's one that's more important than the other. But without the Sangha, without all of you here, I wouldn't be able to be giving this talk. So I need you as much as you need me. We need each other, and not in a codependent way, in a way that's interdependent. We all are. The sun, without the trees, without the water, without all that stuff, we wouldn't be here today in this moment. So with that being said, the Bodhisattvas, the way to get through and to help others is at first help ourselves. We got to put our oxygen masks on ourselves so we can help others. And we can't do that alone. We got to have our Sangha. We got to have each other. So that is a very important part of the practice. There is a story I wanted to share from the book escapes me, but I know the story well. It's a story of a Bodhisattva in our day and age in the 1940s during the Holocaust in Nazi Germany. He was a poet, and his name escapes me as well. But the names don't really matter. What matters is the story. He was a Jew. He was at one of the concentration camps. He was loaded into one of the cattle cars with all the other people. And they were on their way to the gas chambers and the ovens. And as they got there, the guards are usually in a jovial manner, but they knew what was going on, and they were somber. No one was talking. Everyone was very glim. And this poet just jumps up, grabs the man's hand in front of him, and looks at it so close, his eyes were almost touching his hand. He starts reading his palm. He says, "You're going to have a long life. You're going to have children. You're going to have a wonderful life." And it took the guards by surprise. It took the men by surprise. All the people that were in the car or coming out. And as soon as he did that, he went to another man. "You're going to have a wonderful life. You're going to live many years. You're going to be in your 80s. And he just kept going, and the energy of the crowd just started to erupt. The guards didn't know what to do. They were in disarray. They couldn't figure out like what was going on. Like these guys are going to be executed, but they are happy and jovial and talking about long life and kids. What's up with that? So they kind of, in their stupor, they kind of realized what was going on and the evil of their ways. And they decided to load them all back up on the cattle car and bring them back to the camp. And the man, Spretza, I think is his last name. Anyways, I should have wrote his name down. But again, he did that. And he survived the camp. Unfortunately, after liberation, he died of typhoid. But the story lives on. He saved many lives. And I get this story from the book. I'll get back with you on that one. But and he got the story from another person, and they got the story from another person. And the first time I heard it, I was moved. But then I was like, is this true? Did this actually happen? But with our imagination and with stories of mythos, even the story of the Buddha, does it matter if it was true in this moment or what the story represents, how it moves us? And in my heart and in my mind, I believe that happened. But there are always skeptics out there. But that story really shows what a bodhisattva does. They use their imagination. They use skillful means. They help others in any way they can. And I really encourage us to do that as well. There are many ways of a bodhisattva. There are 6 paramitas, and paramitas are like perfections. We have the perfection of patience, the perfection of dana, generosity. What we give, the perfection of endurance or vitality, energy, virya, the perfection of meditation, mindfulness, sitting down and being calm. Not just calm, but feeling our feelings for what they are, our anger, our sadness, and not pushing them away, but actually noting them, observing them, seeing them, feeling them. The perfection of wisdom, prajna paramita. That's what we talked about in the Heart Sutra. And the beautiful thing about the Heart Sutra is the Bodhisattva of compassion is giving the talk on the paramita of wisdom. So you can't have compassion without wisdom. You can't have wisdom without compassion. They're like the wings of a bird. Without one, they won't fly, or they'll just go around in circles. So you need both wings. You need wisdom, you need compassion. And that's only 5 paramitas. Virtue. There you go. You need virtue, which are the 5 precepts. How could I forget about that? 5 precepts. So in our temple, we have a few things that the precept classes are coming up in September. And if you want to, I'll just put a little plug in there. They'll probably be in the announcements as well. But the precepts are so important with virtue and morality and ethical conduct. So our precepts are to respect and protect life, to respect and protect the property of others, to respect and protect sexual boundaries, to respect and protect the truth, and to respect and protect your mind and body. So a bodhisattva uses virtue and those precepts, and that's how they live their lives. And of course, we all fail, we all fall. I failed yesterday myself. I've been practicing for 8 years. I thought, it's like I've got it, and I'll make an excuse, but excuses can only go so far. I was tired. I was working, unpacking stuff all day. I was doing a lot of stuff. I was hungry, but I left the door open to my meditation room. My roommate's cat went into my meditation room, went on to my altar, and I saw him on my altar, and I was like, get off there. And as soon as the cat ran, it just knocked my Buddha down. It knocked my whole altar off. And I was like, Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I wanted to pull my hair out if I had more hair. And I got so angry. The anger just came. And the Shanti Davis says one flash of anger destroys a lifetimes of merit. And I destroyed a lifetime of merit yesterday. But with that, you fall down 7 times, you get up 8. And as soon as I freaked out, I yelled. I didn't take hurt the cat or anything, but I was angry. And it was very embarrassing because my parents were there, my girlfriend was there, and I was like, I asked for a moment, I closed the door, set my meditation cushion up, and I sat. And I sat there and I breathed. And I just and my inner monologue is like, what the heck did you just do, man? What? You've been practicing meditation for 8 years. You're a Dharma teacher. But nobody's perfect. They're called perfections, but we are perfecting them. It's ennobling. It's enlightening. There's no once you're there, you're there. It's ever unfolding. And the biggest thing is when those things happen, because they will happen to everyone. I can almost guarantee it. It's like I don't want you to, but you know that you're gonna get angry. You know you're gonna get sad. You know things are gonna happen that are really crappy, and that's why we have meditation. So, that happened, and I sat there, and then as soon as I felt the calmness coming back into my body and my being, I went up and I got my Buddha and I got my stuff. I put my altar back together. Nothing was broken. Nothing was harmed. Everything was okay. But in that moment, I let my emotions take the wheel. And that'll happen sometimes. But again, with the practice, that's why we sit. And for our practice here, we're going to sit for about 10 minutes. And I would love to give you a little brief meditation instruction. So you want to get your body in a comfortable position. There's three main things. Taking a seat. And you can be on a cushion or you can be on a chair. And if you're uncomfortable on a cushion right now, I suggest or I encourage you to get a chair that's open. And if you want to stay there, maybe just move around, kind of get comfortable. You can either be crisscrossed, applesauce, have your hands on your knees is the most comfortable for starting out. You have a straight back. You're uptight, but you're upright, but you're not uptight. I'm sorry. You have a hard back, but a soft belly. You imagine a string kind of pulling you up. And again, your hands can be on your lap, in your lap or on your knees. You have your head kind of tilted down. And actually, I suggest you have your eyes open, but you don't. It's not necessary. But if you notice all of these statues, all of the Buddha taught mindfulness to leave your eyes open, just briefly, very low, having your gaze about 4 to 6 feet in front of you. And you can blink, you can hold them closed for a little bit, but the reason behind it is to keep your all 6 senses open. Your mind is one sense. Your eyes, your tongue, your body, your ears, and your nose. And so you have them all open. And the second step is an anchor or a point of reference, which is we use our breath. Our breath is always with us, unless you're not living. But I see you are all breathing, so we all have the breath. And when your thoughts come, they will come. I have ADHD, if you can tell. And my thoughts will never cease. Meditation is not about stopping your thoughts. So you when you have a thought of anger, or it's like, what's for breakfast? I'm getting hungry. What am I going to do for the rest of the day? I'll probably be thinking about what I did, how I reacted yesterday, even though I'm trying to forgive myself. It's like those things will come in, and you just note thinking. You just say thinking, like a cloud in the sky, cloud. Or and you can, if it's very strong, you can say anger. But I really highly recommend you say thinking for when your thought comes. You come back to your breath. It's like a point of reference. And it's like this meditation is like an exercise for your brain, for your mind, and for your heart, and of awareness. And so when those thoughts come, label them thinking, and come back to your breath. We're not influencing our breath. We're not counting our breath. We're just breathing naturally. So with that, if you would prepare yourself for meditation, we will sit. And if someone could bring the lights down, Ashton. It'll begin with 3 bells and end with 3 bells.
we bow. Before we get into joys and concerns, because I did destroy my merit in one flash of anger, I'd like to dedicate the merit, and I'd like everyone here, if you feel called to repeat after me. It'll be, I'll say it, then you say it, and I say it. I've got it right here. May all beings be happy. May all beings be free from suffering. May all beings experience joy in the happiness of others. May all beings remain in equanimity, free from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Free from attachment, aversion, and ignorance. Thank you all. And that's what a Bodhisattva does. They give their merit. Any good deed you do, you give it away. And you keep doing that. So, joys and concerns. This is the point in the service where you can share anything that is of a joy, something wonderful, or a concern that you have, something that you want us to hold space for, either the joy or the concern. We can all go around. Jeff is getting the mic. Thank you, Jeff. And I think he is raising his hand. And the mic is for the people on YouTube. Hi, everyone on YouTube and Zoom. It's not. Eventually, I think we'll get a PA system. So if you're speaking here, just kind of speak up.
Basically yesterday I got kind of trampled by a bunch of kids at WeFolk. Some of them were sitting on my neck and chest, so I couldn't breathe for a while.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. I kind of hope that they can soon figure out that's a bad idea to do that, because that could have really hurt somebody.
Thank you. I guess I'll share joy, break the ice as well. I'm finally getting all my boxes unpacked at my house. It's been so stressful, as you heard, but it's been so good and liberating to just get everything out. I've been giving things away. I've been throwing things away. I've been donating things. So I can actually walk around in my space now. So I'm so grateful. It looked like I was hoarding things for a minute there. So attachments, right? So thank you. Anybody else?
I have a concern and a joy. My concern is my class is moving on in 2 weeks. They're all going to school. They're all going to start school. So it's sad. I'm going to miss all of them. They were troublemakers, but they all got in my heart. And I have to now, my concern, prepare for my new class, which looks like it's going to be another group of troublemakers. So I'm trying to mentally prepare. So I have 3 days off from work.
Woo!
Yay.
Yay.
So there's
that's
my
awesome.
joy.
Very joyful. Anything online? I don't know if they can hear me in there, but Will, is there anything online? No, okay. I figured I'd ask. Oh, do you want to say something? Maybe not. Okay.
I have a concern, actually.
Okay.
I've been dealing with some stressful health stuff. So any thoughts would be helpful.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you. Yes. You can come this way too, Jeff, if it's faster.
I have a joy to share. After a couple of difficult months of unemployment, I have found my dream job. And I, yes, have been hired. So I'm very excited to move forward with that. I also have a joy, and it's also work related. I work as a nurse aide, and that is I don't know who works as a nurse. Some people know how hard that is and how rewarding it is, but you have to have good management. And I finally found a place that, even though people are stressed out, everyone's happy, and my boss is happy and healthy, and everyone is just dealing with their stress, and we're smiling and laughing, and it's really amazing because everyone helps each other out, and there's no fuss about it, and it's really nice. So that's my joy. So far, so good.
All right, I'll end it with one more joy work related. I passed my final test at my job. I had to do qualifications, and I passed the first time and get 3 tries. There's a lot of stress, but I did it, and I'm grateful. So thank you. So we will hold these joys and these concerns in our heart, and send loving kindness and thoughts and prayers, whatever you've is called to you. And we'll do that for one moment. All right, we have announcements now. I know we have a Donna announcement. I'm not sure who would like to do that, or if anyone is. Appreciate you, Jake. And we're in August. Can you believe that? We're in August. I can't.
Is this working? Good morning, everyone. I'm Jake. My Dharma name is Atrasta. It's my turn to do the Dana announcement this week. So Dana, like was mentioned earlier, is the cultivation of generosity in Buddhist practice. This temple is supported and run entirely on the efforts and generosity of the people who attend, and the people who don't but support from afar. The lights, the air conditioning, the heat in the winter, everything is a result of the generosity of all of you. No one here collects any compensation of any kind. No Dharma teacher. Everything is on a volunteer basis, from the cleaning that gets done to the talks that are given to the food that's provided during potlucks and receptions, which, shameless plug, we have one coming up next week. So if you would like to participate, there are a couple of ways you can do that. You can support the temple financially. There are Dana boxes at either end of the Dharma hall. There's also a QR code that links to PayPal. If you're watching online, there's a show more option underneath the video that has a link to the website. And you can also just go directly to the website, and there's a link there as well. And if you would like to donate your time and your energy, we can always use people to help set up in the mornings. If you're a morning person, which I'm not, which is why I was late. You can also help by participating in setting up for, again, the receptions and potlucks that are coming up. And there's a few people that you can talk to when it comes to cleanup. Kate is one of them. And you can talk to myself about any other participation. And I think that's it. Oh, downstairs. Okay. There is a, are we calling the Buddha Boutique?
That's what it's been called.
That's a paradox right there.
Isn't it?
Downstairs.
That was funny.
If you would like to purchase anything from there, all of the proceeds go to keeping the temple up and running and providing this space for all of us to continue our practice and have a sense of community. And that is all.
Thank you. Any other temple related announcements before I do the normal August announcements? Okay, so our August announcements. I'll start with our next service is going to be a special ceremony. I know Ashton will be and Jeff and many others will be receiving the gift of the Bodhisattva commitments, or really committing themselves to the way of the Bodhisattva. And it'll be a beautiful ceremony where we'll have a potluck afterwards. Is it just dessert or is it a whole potluck?
No. So we have a reception next week, which is just
Snacks and desserts. So just something light. Label your food. We have people with gluten allergies, with dairy allergy. Well, we hope it'll be vegetarian, vegan. It doesn't need to be, but whatever you can bring. And if you don't bring anything, don't feel like you can't partake. There's always more than enough. Always.
Also, we do have a potluck coming up next week, which is you can bring a dish.
Oh gosh, I didn't know that one. Okay.
Back to back.
Okay. We're really getting it out there. We've been on kind of a hiatus with potluck since COVID, so it's been nice to come back into community and to share food. So we also have our Grand Rapids Board of Directors board meeting. Sangha members are invited to observe. It will be Sunday. Oh goodness, this is July. It's usually the third Sunday of the month, from 11:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. and it meets at the temple downstairs. And you can also join via Google Meet. We have Buddhist-based recovery meetings here Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Mondays they're at 6:30. We meditate, and then we have our meeting. Depending on how many people, sometimes we got like 30 people, so we have it up here. And Wednesdays it's at the Al-Anon North Club, which is on College. At the same time, 6:30 to 6:30 is meditation. 7 p.m. is the meeting. Goes till 8 o'clock. And Fridays we gather at Garfield Park in the morning, and you can also join via Zoom on the Friday morning one. We used to have Zoom on the Mondays, but we have too many people, so we don't offer the Zoom anymore. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can get with me, email me, one of the chairs there. We have an online meditation group on Wednesdays from 7:30 to 8:15 p.m. You can join via Zoom. You can contact Reverend Kunga Nima for more information. All this information is also on our website. There's a link in our Instagram page too, if you're on Instagram. We have a women's book group, The Power of a Question, Less Suffering and More Joy. It's going to start Sunday, August 20th from 2:30 p.m. to 4:30 p.m. It meets at the temple. Registration ends on the 13th of August, and you can contact Susan McFarland for more information. That is also on the website. And then our 5 Buddhist preceptor training that's coming up in September. Every other Sunday from September through December, we meet at the temple after service from 11:15 a.m. to 12:15 p.m. And registration ends on September 1st. You can also contact Reverend Kunga Nima for more information. And then our Fundamentals of Buddhism class. We have another class coming up Saturday, October 7th. That's from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. It meets here at the temple. The registration ends on September 30th. You can also contact Reverend Kunga Nima. For more details, you can visit zengr.org, and you can subscribe to our weekly newsletter. Is there any other announcements? Okay, we will stand and we will recite our closing gathas on page 9. Get up slowly. Just like sit on the ground. Fall asleep.
And we say together, for all unskillful actions ever committed by me since of old, on account of my beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and thoughts, now I atone for it all. Vast is the robe of compassion, a formless field of benefaction. I wear the Buddha's teachings for the benefit of all sentient beings. One beings, one body, I vow to liberate. Endless blind passion, I vow to uproot. Dharma gates without number, I vow to penetrate. The great way of Buddha, I vow to attain. If we can have the left side and the right side face each other, we'll bow to each other. And I just want to say, if you could, someone is going to start collecting our booklets. If you could tidy up the cushion space, better than how you saw it, leave it better than you came. And we also have tea downstairs. The water may not be warm, but it will get warm. So I invite you, if you have time, to come downstairs and enjoy each other's company. And otherwise, you have a wonderful Sunday. Have a great week.